Ugh, Sidonia. Check your suit seals. Martian dust gets everywhere.
Just because the governor's office is right out there on the main level doesn't mean it's not secure.
There are many stories and films about demons, ghosts.
What's up?
I just heard news that my father was found dead in his hotel room. I assume that was your doing? I don't know what to say. I'm safe, but at what cost? I hated that man, but I never wished him dead. I guess we will never know if that is true or not. It is both fortunate and unfortunate, but that burden is for me to live with now. I suppose I should thank you, even though it feels wrong to do so. He was my father, and yet I still feel relief. It will always weigh heavy on my soul. I don't know what else to say. Goodbye.
What if we took the kids to your brother's place? Would that work?
Space frog from outer space. He'll put a smile on your face. Visits all the planets and all the stars. Right now, he's on Mars.
When I get older, I'm gonna work in the mine.
Oh, did you find the book, Dragon Star Force Volume 1, The Heroes of the Dragon Star?
Somewhere nice.
I don't know. No, hold on. I never said that was my final offer. Not an unreasonable person, you know? Okay. I guess it's the least I could do for making you go out of your way to find it for me. Now that I got that first edition, here's my other copy of the book for you to read. Thanks again. What do you think you're doing?
Don't be stupid. Stop now. Stop, in the name of UC Security. You're under arrest. I've got special orders. You're coming with me. Prepare for immediate transport to our vessel. I've been authorized to inform you that you're being transferred to the UC Vigilance. You'll find out more when you get there. Other than that, I'm not at liberty to divulge any additional information. We have orders to transport you and your vessel to your final destination, the UC Vigilance. Any deviation from those orders on your part will be considered an act of hostility and will be met with aggressive force. Smart decision. Stand by to be transferred.
Well, that was fun. Now what?
I'm telling you, the commander's got plans for this loser. Why else would he be going through all this trouble? I still don't understand why he trusts a criminal. Seems like too much of a risk. Stop worrying and keep an eye on our guest. I'll be right back. You just sit tight. The commander wants to have a little chat. The prisoner's ready, sir. I hope you're comfortable. We have a lot to discuss. Highly perceptive. Let me add that to your list of skills. Speaking of which, let's see what we're working with here. It appears you spent several years as a bounty hunter. That type of background will get you quite far around here. I also see that you've mined on Vectera, and now you're with Constellation. You've certainly been quite busy. Oh, and look at that. Right at the bottom of this list is the criminal incident that landed you in my crosshairs. I will, when I'm ready. Now that we have that out of the way, let me introduce myself. My name is Commander Kibwe Ikande, and I'm in charge of this operation for UC SysDev. Are you familiar with what we do? United Colonies System Defense. Does that help you figure out exactly what it is we do? UC SysDev is a division of the UC Navy. While they handle the big picture stuff, we deal with a very particular problem. The Crimson Fleet. That convict is where you enter the picture. No, you don't. Not yet, anyway. We've been prodding at the Crimson Fleet for years, trying to take them down one ship at a time. But we barely scratched the surface. If we can get someone on the inside, we'll have a shot at finding a loose thread we can pull to bring it all down. If the military rolls in and attacks the Crimson Fleet, we'd have a full-scale war on our hands. That means losses, heavy losses, that the United Colonies can't afford. Not for me, for yourself. Look, I'm I'm going to make this simple. Agree to work for UC SysDev, and together we take down the Crimson Fleet. Refuse, and I tell these guys to throw you into the nearest lockup. Might even tack on an extra few hundred credits to your fine. Well, first of all, we'll forget about the infraction that landed you on the Vigilance. Wipe the slate clean. Better still, depending on how well you do your job, we'll even kick in a few extra credits to offset any cost that the operation will incur. Or, you can throw all that away and end up back in jail with a hefty fine attached. Of course you have a choice. It's just stacked in my favor. So, what do you say? You going to work with me, or should I find someone else? You aren't leaving until I have an answer. If I didn't think you had a chance, I would have left you in lockup. You're just going to have to follow your instincts and trust me. Smart choice. I'm going to have one of my men escort you to the operations center. I strongly suggest that you don't give him any trouble. And don't bother trying to leave the ship. I think you'll find all access to the docking area is fully restricted.
All right, let's go. So, you took the op instead of serving the time. Gonna be the commander's new mole, huh? Going in all alone, infiltrating a bunch of pirates. You've got a lot of guts. Still, it makes you wonder, especially with the stories that go around. Like the one about how the fleet deals with informants by lashing them to the hull of a ship, and then slowly letting the air out of their suit. Could you imagine a worse way to go? I know I couldn't. But I wouldn't worry about it. Since the commander handpicked you, I'm guessing you can hold your breath for a really long time, right?
Howdy.
Ikande's on level 2. Try not to touch anything until he actually clears you.
All right. This is as far as I go. Take the lift up to Ops. Commander Ikande should be waiting for you.
Hello? Pardon?
Okay, hello.
Ah, there you are. Excellent. Now that we've established your level of cooperation with us, I want to introduce you to your new home. This is the Operations Center of the UC Vigilance, SysDev's nerve center dedicated to the destruction of the Crimson Fleet. We are currently in the Sol system, in deep orbit around Phobos. As to why, I'll explain momentarily. That's strange. According to your file, you've encountered them before. On Vectera specifically. They were the pirates that attacked your mining outpost? I'm surprised you don't remember. Whether this ship is impressive or not, you're the key element that we've been lacking. We need eyes and ears inside the Crimson Fleet. Someone who can feed us information, evidence, and expose their weaknesses. The catch is that you can't just knock on their front door and ask for an application. Getting inside is going to take some finesse. Good. I have just the right place for you to start. Our intelligence has managed to find a possible opening into the Crimson Fleet through Saoirse Bowden, one of their contacts. She works for the Trade Authority in Sidonia, so you'll be using a container of Aurora we've loaded on your ship to get her attention. That's right. So it'll be your job to convince this person that you're the real deal. Once you bluff your way into the Crimson Fleet, then the operation proceeds to evidence gathering. That's where my second-in-command, Lieutenant Gillian Toft, comes into the picture. She'll explain everything you need to know. Let's just say my superiors need proof that engaging the Crimson Fleet is a larger priority than they're willing to admit. If we shove enough concrete evidence under their noses, they'll have no choice but to allocate the resources that I've requested. At the same time, we can use the evidence to arrest members of the Crimson Fleet, weakening them enough to strike a fatal blow. We move quick around here. Better get used to it. Remember, this entire operation rests on your ability to infiltrate the Crimson Fleet and bring us the evidence we need to take them down. I wouldn't expect any less. Look, before you begin, I want to make something perfectly clear. As an undercover operative for UC SysDef, you'll be expected to follow our code of conduct and ethics. Allow yourself to stray too far off the path, and you stand a good chance of spiraling out of control. To put it simply, you can't go into every situation with guns blazing. Think before you act. Calculate what you're doing and pull the trigger only when it's absolutely necessary. At the end of the day, your primary goal is taking down the Crimson Fleet. That's the greater good. The Crimson Fleet doesn't follow the rules. They only abide by one thing: money. All of their morals and social graces fall by the wayside in pursuit of their greed. At first glance, this can appear quite enticing, so I'm warning you not to get lured into their trap. Think you can handle that? That's what I wanted to hear. Anyway, it's time to hand you over to Lieutenant Toft. She'll brief you about the details of the evidence-gathering portion of the operation. Now, get out of here, and good luck. All we know is that she's been with the Trade Authority for years, which means she's been privy to some seriously shady deals. She's shrewd and she's diligent. The only reason we were able to connect her with the Crimson Fleet at all was thanks to an informant. I'm afraid she's the best lead we've got. For your own safety, nobody but myself and the crew of the Vigilance will be aware that you're working for the United Colonies. Basically, if you land in jail, you're going to have to deal with the fines. While you're running with the Crimson Fleet, you're undoubtedly going to be faced with some morally gray decisions. It's going to be difficult for you to weigh the consequences of pulling the trigger while maintaining your cover. Do what you have to do, but remember why you're out there in the first place. That's why I expect you to constantly seek alternative means to overcome your obstacles, rather than blowing holes in them. Look, I can see that you're struggling with this. So let me simplify this for you. If there's a route to your goal which doesn't involve killing innocent people, I'm urging you to follow that path. Use your instincts. I'm certain you'll do the right thing. That's easy to answer. You don't. We'll be monitoring your activities from the Vigilance and attempting to keep it within your vicinity. When you feel you've gathered enough evidence, and at the completion of your assignments, head back here for a debrief. Beyond that, you're completely on your own. As you were.
All right, we don't have a lot of time, so I need you to listen up. While you're working undercover, it's imperative that you gather as much evidence as possible. If you find any records that look suspicious or incriminating, you bring it to me. Is that understood? Well, since it isn't every day we stumble across a criminal's fully written confession, we need to build a case against our suspects. The more evidence we acquire, the stronger our case becomes. And knowing the Crimson Fleet, they'll leave plenty of evidence for you to find. You better make it, because Commander Akande cashed in all his chips to get this operation off the ground. I want data slates, computer downloads, handwritten notes. Hell, I'll take anything if it'll get those bastards thrown into the brig. It's not you, it's the Crimson Fleet. That minor skirmish you had with them on Vectera was nothing compared to the death and destruction those pirates leave behind. If you've seen what I've seen, you'd understand why I'm pushing you so hard. What? No. It's personal. It has nothing to do with you. Just stick to the mission and you'll be fine. That's all we're asking. Oh, before you go, there's one more thing. Commander Akande has authorized a credit disbursement for each piece of evidence that you return, as compensation for your efforts. Yes. Commander Akande mentioned that when he proposed the idea. Lucky you. All right. We've loaded a container of Aurora into your ship's cargo hold. We're also providing you with a sample you can use to tease the goods. We've cleared your ship for launch. Proceed to Sidonia. Make contact with Saoirse Bowden. And with any luck, she'll point you to the Crimson Fleet. That should do it. You're dismissed. We'll be keeping them close at hand until this operation is complete. So, we'll be holding them in the Vigilance's brig. If you're feeling particularly ruthless, you could always head down there and say hello. I'm sure they'll be thrilled to see you. Don't worry, the container's been registered with UC Security, so you shouldn't have any trouble. Even if you're scanned. Of course, if we find out you tried to sell it to someone outside the boundaries of this particular operation, well, I don't think I need to tell you the consequences of making that mistake. Not really, no. I've learned to keep my personal experiences separate from the job. Don't get me wrong. I appreciate that you care. It's just that I don't feel like now's an appropriate time to be discussing these things. Let's just stick to the job at hand and concentrate on the mission. But, maybe we can talk about it some other time, okay? Let me know if you need anything else.
Is there anything
We should
else I
make
can
sure we're
answer
well
before you
supplied
proceed
for the
to the
trip to
next phase of your
Cassiopeia.
mission?
Next stop, Cassiopeia, I assume.
Excuse me. Hey.
I don't know about you. That isn't it. We've got plenty of fresh faces picked right from the academy. But yours happen to come from a different farm. The prison one, if we're being honest. But if Commander Ikande says you're Sistef, then you are one of us. For now. You guessed it. In fact, I'd say you've got what linguistic experts call FOGO, a firm grasp of the obvious. But I'm not just any pilot. I'm the best, and I've got the kills to prove it. You got some set of manners, kid. The fleet are gonna eat you up. Long story. I got my start in the academy and made a name for myself hunting the Crimson Fleet. I eventually got recruited to do test flights on a star station orbiting Lloyden's Rock. Me and 3 other Archangel pilots did some work on some extremely dangerous prototypes. But I called in a few favors and got back home with Sistef. Someone with my talents needs to be here, where the action is. I cut my teeth on space trucks, believe it or not. Before I got my stripes, I was just another cargo hauler trying to earn an honest wage. But after a couple slick escapes, I got recruited to the academy and went from dodging pirates to hunting them. Thing is, some of my best tricks were with a big rig. Ever try a pitchback with a Hope Tech truck with 2 fleet wraiths on your tail? Compared to that, doing it with a military fighter is a piece of cake. Later, Gator.
Yes?
Cycled air. Just isn't the same as the real thing.
Good luck finding Barrett. Keep an eye out for Hella while you're at it.
all-time low around Sidonia. Let's keep it that way.
If you're here to buy or sell, you might want to talk to Octai. I'm busy. Octai Bayar. He's the head of our Sidonia branch. If you want to do some trading, he's the one you need to be talking to. I'm busy. And by sensitive, I'm guessing you mean something you don't want UC security sticking their noses into. I can probably help you with that. What have you got for me? Aurora, huh? Nice. A little too hot to handle, though. What else you got?
The Trade Authority turning away contraband. Now I've seen everything.
No, they're right. What they didn't tell you is that I have a self-preservation streak 1 kilometer wide. Of course, if there's a finder's fee you're offering, I might, well, bend the rules a little bit. You know, it's funny. Suddenly, I do remember someone who might be able to unload that stuff for you.
Well, well. It appears she suddenly remembers everything. How nice.
There's a buddy of mine who runs with the Crimson Fleet. Goes by the name Adler Kemp. If he isn't passed out, you can find him killing the rest of his brain cells at the Broken Spear. Oh, and it's been a pleasure doing business with you.
We should make sure we're well supplied for the trip to Cassiopeia.
Somebody struck oil, but it turns out it was just another deep one, wasn't it?
Unless you're here to serve me another drink, you can turn around and walk away. Hey, why don't you say that a little louder? I don't think every single UC guard in Sidonia heard you. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I think we can help you with this. If you've got a whole shipment of this stuff, you're going to need to move it fast. But you're going to have to do something for us first. You're a clever one, aren't you? Let's just say I have a certain influential affiliation. And leave it at that. Basically, you want that Aurora moved, I'm your guy. Yeah, well, she isn't running the show here. I am.
Well, this is utterly ridiculous. Do we really have to jump through these hoops to get what we need from you?
Lady, if you want me to move that shipment for your pal here, you're going to do whatever the hell I want. You got that? Now listen up, because I'm not going to repeat myself. I need you to deal with a miner who's racked up a bunch of debt. He probably spent it all on booze, not that I blame him. Either way, I want that money back. What do I need to do here? Write you an instruction manual? You can do this loud, you can do this quiet. I don't care. I just want my goddamn money, and I want this guy to remember who he screwed over. Perfect. His name's Carl Fielding. I think you'll find him wandering around the Deimos miners' quarters. Don't worry, you can't miss him. Just look for the most miserable-looking guy in the entire place.
I could never leave these people behind. Their continued success is my life's work. Deimos Star Yards may be the first. Have a good day.
So much to do. so sorry. That wasn't directed at you at all. I'm just really stressed out at the moment. You're fine. Actually, maybe you can help me? I'm aware of what you did for Trevor. Don't worry, I'm not gonna say anything to Peter. I feel like I can trust you. I'm Gilly. I'm a psychologist working for Deimos, and I've been utterly swamped with work lately, trying to make a deadline. I could use a hand tracking down some of our employees and delivering psychological questionnaires to them.
Those psychological evaluations could prove useful to both Deimos and the miners themselves. Perhaps we should lend Gilly a hand.
It's not as sinister as you think. Basically, Deimos invests heavily in its employees and operations. In order to protect those investments, I was hired to perform periodic psychological evaluations. The company wants to identify potential erratic behavior patterns that might jeopardize the company's investments, and work with their employees to correct them. It's a lot of personal stuff. I'm not going to get into it with someone I just met. All you need to know is that I could really use a hand. You can? Oh, wow, thanks. I don't even know who I've got left in this stack, but take a look at the names and track them down. When they've all filled out the forms, just bring them back to me and I'll go through them. Just tell them you're assisting Gilly. Oh, and don't read what they write down. It's supposed to be confidential. Thanks again.
I know the Deimos employees here on Mars think I'm overbearing. But what they don't know is that I've saved this operation from being shut down countless times.
You're doing me a huge favor.
It's not easy.
Thanks.
Coordinating corporate efforts between the Star Yard and here. A psychological evaluation. Are you kidding me? Gilly, I'm the one who ordered this program in the first place. Do I really need to go through with this?
I'm well aware, but you are an employee and it is company policy that everyone gets one.
Okay, fine. Let me have it. Okay, this isn't so bad. Easy. Yep. Mm-hmm. You really want to know that? Huh? Okay. And done. There you go. Remind me to make myself and the other execs exempt from these in the future. We wouldn't be where we are if we were a liability.
Well, that's enough for today. Shall we?
Yes, let's.
Let me just finish sending this. And I sure hope this hearing loss isn't permanent.
Am I in your way? Sorry.
We have the tech to instantly jump across the universe.
Got a problem or something? Just messing with you. What the? Seriously, that's a thing we gotta do for the company psychologist? Fine, let me see it. What is this BS? Yeah? Yeah? Oh, like I'm gonna say that. Nice try. That'll give her something to think about. Alright, whatever. There you go. Hope I get an A or whatever's good for one of these things. Huh. Gotta tell you, those psych tests are stupid. Yeah, I know. You helped save me from myself. I thought everyone was gonna start treating me with more respect, but that hasn't exactly happened. Yeah, maybe. We'll see. Like, I ain't gonna do anything like that again, but so far, not much has changed, so was it worth it? I don't know. I guess so. What, am I too much for you?
Hey there.
You a new hire? I thought all our positions were full. Oh? Interesting. Usually she comes down here herself if she needs something. I'm glad she's finally got an assistant. Anyway, I'm Andres. Nice to meet you. Something else I can help you with? About 15 years now. It's good work. Good money. Only problem is that it keeps me away from my family. They live well, but I hardly see them. Who knows? Maybe this is the year I let my contract renewal lapse and I finally retire. Just for mining, not work entirely. I think about it every time my contract comes up. See, I'm quite a few systems away from my family. I get to see them whenever I get the chance, but it's hard watching my kid grow up without me. And it's not easy on his mom either. I'm conflicted because the job pays so well, and I want to earn enough so that my kid never has to do what I did to make ends meet. That's what I keep telling myself. I'm doing this for a very good reason. And my wife, she gets it too. Still, that doesn't make it any easier. No matter what, it's a tough decision. Let's just say that I've made enough here to retire early if I wanted to, and do something else with my life. Still not sure that's what I want yet, though. Other operations? I'd probably have to put in another 10, 15 years to get to where I am today. Deimos seems to prioritize its employees, which is a nice change of pace from the industry. Oh, is it that time already? Sure. It'll only take a moment. Let's see. Yep. Uh-huh. Oh, no. Mm-hmm. That question again? Well, all right. Okay, that should do it. Here you go. Tell her I said hi, will you?
This is a courtesy reminder that despite the low gravity on Mars, a fall into Sidonia's lower level is still likely to result in injury or death.
I think Hank had it in him.
Whoa, hold on there. Are you supposed to be down here? You could get hurt without proper safety training. Oh, say no more. That's good enough for me. Just be sure to watch your step. There's dangerous stuff laying around. I'm Salmon. Not Sammy, not Sam, Salmon. I don't do nicknames. I've been with Deimos for what seems like forever. So what I'm saying is, if you have questions, no one here knows these mines better than I do. Not much. Been mining this rock for longer than anyone. Going on 30 years now. And before you ask, I don't talk about my life before that. Look, normally I wouldn't tell anyone, but I heard from Trevor how you helped us all out. The short answer is that I was a troubled kid. I stole. I accidentally got someone killed. I went to jail for a while, then came out all reformed. Most of the other miners have no idea, and I'd like to keep it that way. And it's fun to hear what kind of crazy theories they come up with. Like, did you know I was a spy sent by House Varun to steal secrets from Deimos? Ridiculous stuff like that. Yeah, I get it. I'm old. To answer your question, though, no. This is the life for me, and I'm gonna do it until I'm dead or can't do it anymore. Whichever comes first. Sure, hand it here. Let's see. No. 10. No. No. Good. No. And there it is. Is that it? Great. See you around.
Deimos Star Yards acknowledges the efforts of its citizens. To make our city a happy and productive place to work. Thank you for your daily contributions to our prosperity.
Don't want to catch yourself with a loose grip on your equipment when one of those...
I know it's tempting, but please don't read the employee responses when you get them.
Prolonged showers and...
You've got all those forms filled out and returned? Anyone give you any trouble? Other than Leona?
I heard that.
Oh, well, that's nice to know. This is still a fairly new process, but we've done a few of them now, so I'm glad they're taking it in stride. I'm not usually one to ask others to do my work, but you really helped me out big time, and I appreciate it. Here's a little something, as thanks.
Something I can help you with? Adler Kemp. Who the heck is that? What? Play what games? You're obviously confusing me with someone else. Look, I'm tired. It's been a long day in the mines. I just want to go home, wash off the dust, and relax. This has been fun, though. Whatever. Adler... Oh! Wait! You mean that Adler? Yeah, sorry. I thought you were talking about someone else. I told him I'd pay up next week when Deimos cuts our next profit share check. I'll even bring it to him personally. Sound good? Yeah? Well, I mean, he doesn't really have a choice. Look, I haven't got a single credit to spare right now. Okay? You can't squeeze blood from a stone. You know? Right?
Perhaps he's already been through enough.
What games? Why are you doing this to me? I don't have the money. I suppose. It's just that, well, I didn't have much of a choice. Please, tell Adler I'm sorry for trying to wiggle out of the debt. I didn't have much of a choice.
Only employees of Deimos Star
Got what you
Mining Division are
want.
authorized
Why can't you
to
just leave me,
resources
please?
in and around. It is your civic duty to report any unauthorized mining to civilian security.
Stuff falls into that category.
Just passing through, or here to stay?
What's up?
Oh man, I'm running late for the meeting. What time is it?
Every time I see those drawings,
Have something for me? There, would you look at that? I knew that bum was holding out on me. He going to be a problem anymore? Or did he get the message? Nice, nice. You're kind of a natural at this. Leaning on deadbeats comes easy to you. I like that. You know, if you like this kind of work, I can get you more. A lot more. You think you can handle running with my, associates? If you haven't figured that out by now, then maybe you aren't cut out for our line of work. That's what I'm talking about. I like your style. All right. I'll call ahead and get a hold of Nevamora. She's second to the big boss himself. Head out to Europa. You'll find her there. I suggest you listen to whatever she has to say. Oh, and I've taken care of that Aurora shipment for you too. Don't spend all that cash in one place.
We should make sure we're well supplied for the trip to Cassiopeia. Time to get this ship moving.
Wow. Look who finally had the guts to show up. So, big shot. I hear Adler thinks you're good enough to join our crew. We'll see. When the waters get deep, it's sink or swim. So, before I put you to work, let's get everything out in the open. I don't know if Adler mentioned it, and for his sake, I hope he hasn't. But you aren't about to sign up with any average pirate crew. You're signing up with the Crimson Fleet. That's if you get through this little task I have planned for you. There's a medical supply ship called the Ragana, jumping into Enceladus's orbit. On board that ship, you'll find a traitor named Austin Rake. I want him dead. It's done when Rake stops breathing. Head back here when you're finished. And don't keep me waiting for long.
So that's the notorious Nova Mora. I have to say, if she's the finest that the Crimson Fleet has to offer, joining them might be a terrible mistake.
Rake used to run with the fleet. Hell, I'm the one who vouched for him in the first place. Back then he had a different name and a different identity. He was a damn good earner, too. Brought in a ton of creds. Everything was fine until he wanted out. So he ran. And nobody, nobody runs away from the fleet. I've been tracking Rick for months. He's making it tough, not gonna lie. He changes his location and identity so often, it's costing me a small fortune just to keep tabs. But you know what? It's worth every damn cred. He's made me look like a fool in front of Delgado, and I'm gonna have his head on a pike.